$10.
Bana kulipa saa ngapi? Kumiezi ngapi? Bana kulipa saa ngapi?
Mwezi mmoja wananilipa.
Pesa ngapi? Franka ngapi?
$3. Hiyo ni English.
Hiyo ni English.
$3.
$3.
Asia usijuzi. Asia tuwezi.
DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the country that took me through a roller coaster of emotions. This is the country that I struggled the most to enjoy. The decision to go to Congo was a little bit of an impromptu. It was never part of the initial plan. But while I was in Rusizi, that is southwest Rwanda, the government of Rwanda announced a decision to impose stricter measures on movements due to COVID-19. And I thought maybe the best decision is to cross over to Congo. I remember calling my friends and informing them that, you know what, I want to go to Congo, and all of them were against it, like, no, you cannot go to Congo. It's a little dangerous. You see, you know, all these stereotypical ideas we have about Congo with the war and, you know, the country being dangerous. All my friends were against it, but I think when you are a traveler, you have this explorer instinct, and once it pops up, you really have to go. So I thought, well, I'm so close, and let me take this chance. So I decided to cross over to Congo. But immediately I got into Congo. Congo was a little bit of a surprising country, to be honest. The first surprise I got was with the hygiene. If you watched my video about Rwanda, you could notice how clean Rwanda is. If you haven't, you can go look it up and watch it. Congo is the exact opposite. Now, immediately I crossed over the border. Immediately, the roads got dustier, the trash got heavier, and you know, the people looked different. It was such a huge surprise because it's just a border, and the border creates such a huge difference, and that was really surprising in my view. Anyway, I got my way from the border with the help of an immigration officer who gave me a lift in his car, and I got to my hotel and got booked. The following morning was the second surprise. I woke up in the morning and there was no running water on the tap. So I got to the reception. I asked if I could get some water, and to my surprise, they told me, you know what, you need to give us some money to go buy some water for you to brush your teeth and wash your face. I was like, I'm booked here in this hotel. But anyway, I realized that I was fighting a losing battle, and I decided to give in. So I had to give them money to go buy water for me to use to brush my teeth and wash my face, even though I was booked in the hotel. I was like, oh, Congo is a little surprising. The other surprise I got was that Congo is a country of two currencies. If you are in Congo, be ready to use two currencies all at the same time. You have to use the American dollar, and you also have to use the Congolese franc.
Money. Hivi? Nikupatie hivi ndo you wait.
And the two currencies go hand in hand. You go to the hotel to book, they tell you, okay, we accept payments in American dollar. And then you go to the restaurant to eat, and you tell, oh, we need the Congolese franc. So basically you have to move around with these two currencies, and that was surprising.
Kwa hivyo kwa dola 10 napata mafaranga ngapi?
Tapata business sense.
Now, if you go to the banks, you will get your money in terms of the American dollars. But immediately you get out of the bank, you get that huge crowd of people hawking money. That was another surprising bit. You know, like the people hawking njugu karanga, you know, and you know, drinking water on the streets. Now there are people hawking money. They come with loads of cash, you know, bundles, and you know, they are all scrambling to get clients from the bank. After 3 days, I thought, no, I can't do Bukavu anymore. And I thought maybe I need to go to another city, which will be better for me. So I had an idea. I thought, okay, I'll go to Uvira. Uvira is a town close to the Burundian border, because I had initially planned to go to Burundi, but because the stricter measures got me close to the Congolese border, I thought I could cross to Congo and then move down, travel within Congo and then pop up in Burundi. So I made the decision to go to Uvira. Now, to go to Uvira, there are two possibilities. The first possibility is to take a bus, cross over to Rwanda, use the Rwandan roads, then towards the southern part of Rwanda, you will cross over to Congo again, then you go to Uvira. The Rwandan roads are so good. The other option is to just move within Congo, a route called Milimani, I think, if I remember well. And because I needed to buy a visa to go to Congo, which was $50, if I crossed over back to Rwanda, it means that my visa for Congo would be revoked. And then crossing over back to Congo, I would need to buy another Congolese visa for another $50. So I thought the best option is to move, just within Congo. A decision that I lived to regret, because we went through the mountains. It was a hectic 8 hours through rough road, and it was a jungle basically. It was dusty. I didn't see any form of human existence. If you have to use this route, please consider going to Rwanda. You'd better pay for the Congolese visa twice than to use this road. The biggest surprise in using this route was when we had to cross over a river using a wooden bridge. Well, it was hectic 8 hours. It was beautiful at some point, because you see all these landscapes with no one. You see the mountains and remember, my choice to go to Uvira was to escape the unfavorable conditions in Bukavu. But when I got to Uvira, I realized that Uvira was actually the fire, while Bukavu was the frying pan. So basically, I jumped from a frying pan into the fire. Uvira was something worse than I imagined. Worse compared to Bukavu, way worse. When I got to Uvira, the first thing is that the whole town was dusty. Well, in Kenya also there are places like this, but Uvira was way extreme. I thought that border town should be, in order, because there's a lot of transit, cross-border trades and, all sorts of things. But Uvira was something completely different. It looked like an abandoned city. And, I got there and it was dusty, and a group of border men came to me, like 20 of them, and they were all struggling, one pulling my bag, another one pulling me, and the other one is pulling my laptop bag, and I really had to fight in a place I really don't know. I had to push people. I pushed, one into the trench, and I had to, all act like I'm all bingo and I could fight. And, I was lucky that somehow some of them got scared and I was left alone. So I got to a hotel in Uvira, and I paid, I think, around $25, which is way expensive compared to what I paid in Rwanda. Rwanda was roughly $15, and you'd get a good hotel with Wi-Fi, hot water, breakfast. So I got to this hotel and I wanted to shower, and I asked this hotel attendant, do you have hot shower here? And they say, yes, we have a hot shower. So I rushed to my room and I turn on the water, and then it's cold. So I call him and say, hey, could you maybe do some magic, because the water is cold? And then he told me, okay, you know what? Give us some money to go buy charcoal so that we can boil the water for you. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, what's this? I'm booked in a hotel. And they say, yeah, if you want hot water, you must give us money to go buy charcoal. They call it makala. Well, in Kenya we say makaa. So I get surprised and ask him, so if I want hot water, I must give you money to go buy makala? Then he says, yes, that's what you have to do. And then I ask him, okay, so all right, so just I'll shower using cold water. Could you give me the Wi-Fi password? And then, oh no, you see the Wi-Fi isn't working now, but we can go put on the generator. It's like, oof, I use Wi-Fi a lot, so how long will the generator work just for me? And yeah, you see, it will work for an hour and then we put it off. I was like, oh God. Anyway, I decide to use my bundles. I just top up my line, the Congolese line, and buy some bundles, and I put the hotspot from my phone and I use it. And so the following day I wake up in the morning and I decide to take a walk in Uvira, and because I also needed some money. And boom, I came face to face with Uvira. The biggest surprise was that I saw almost 4 or 5 vehicles moving around without a number plate. I was like, oh my God, it looks like there is no trace of the government in Uvira. Because I was wondering how could these vehicles move without number plate at all. And some were clearly unroadworthy. But they were on the road and no one seemed to care. Then I got this young lad to take me for a walk, and then we went to Lake Tanganyika, which I really enjoyed because the first time I was getting to Lake Tanganyika and I needed to at least touch the water, take some pictures and feel like I'm right here in Lake Tanganyika. But I was surprised to see a grave next to Lake Tanganyika, and I asked this young boy, why is this person buried here? And he gave me this story.
Anaiba huko juu juu akamuua akakia juu kamtupia hapo kwa bahari hapo. Vijana wamkamata kuja msikia hapo.
The presence of this grave next to a lake was like the last nail on the coffin, like the confirmation, the very last confirmation that there is no trace of governance here. It's like everything is on free mode. It looked like there's no one really cares. Otherwise, this body would be taken from here and maybe taken to the cemetery. But it was there, everyone saw it, but no one cared. Not the government, not the people. The only 2 moments I enjoyed in Uvira was, getting it to Lake Tanganyika. I was really happy. I asked this young boy to take a picture of me. I went to the water, and this is the picture that I posted on my Facebook profile. I was so happy, to be honest. Like the first time I'm here in Lake Tanganyika, something that I only learned in school. I only saw it in school books, and I was so happy. And so I got into the water and took pictures and of course some videos. And the other thing was, while still at the shores of Lake Tanganyika, and I saw these boys, swimming and dancing to, this Diamond Platinum song. I enjoyed this bit of these boys swimming and having fun and dancing in the water and doing this upside down magic, and yeah, that was I think that was the peak of my presence in Uvira. After this one magical day in Uvira, I thought, no, I cannot do a second day here. So I decided to check out of the hotel and cross over to Burundi. On my way to the border, I recorded these videos, and it was a little, the roads were so bad, they were dusty, and at some point you just couldn't even cross using a border. Like I couldn't even use a bus to the border. I had to use a border, get to some point, then change to another border specifically for crossing this water. And you see how flooded these roads are. I was so surprised. So I have to say that Congo is such a big country, bigger than Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi put together. So I cannot speak for the whole country. But For the part I was in, it was really surprising. And you can see this is the border. I was so surprised, the biggest surprise of them all, that immediately I crossed over to Burundi, the roads got better. The roads were tarmac. So I was wondering, why is the Congolese side looking so horrible? All in all, that is my tour of Congo. See you in Burundi. Bye-bye.